We are rooted by origins. I'm Hannah, fourth year architecture student.
I'm Olivia, a fourth year landscape architecture student.
I'm Brycel, fourth year landscape architecture student.
And I'm Sean. I'm fourth year landscape architecture student.
Rooted by Origins is driven by the idea that we must first connect with the origins of where we came from so we can move forward together. The beginning of origins and humankind starts here, which have branched out and spread across the globe over time. Our goal is to reconnect with the dynamic, often untold African and African American histories and cultures that rooted the beginnings of our current world. The project site is knit into the dynamic urban fabric of downtown Pomona, providing an opportunity to accommodate the many needs and interests of the community. Analyzing and recognizing our site's current conditions, we decided to embrace the immediate surrounding structures and respond to rather than remove the original occupants. Our strategy aims to bring visitors from this urban context into the center of our site to fully rediscover their origins and the stories of others. Many paths of travel welcome people in from the surrounding city, with various journeys culminating at the core of the museum, where all people can come together in a triangular space representing a symbolic path to reflect on African, African American, and personal histories to reach enlightenment. The museum complex is composed of 4 main areas to support the cultural and educational goals of the museum: the Rift of Reconnection, the Path of Ancestors, Encountering Spirits, and the Root of Beginnings. Similar to the varied walks of life our ancestors journeyed through, Rooted by Origins can be experienced together by all generations. Take this family of 3, grandma, mother, and son, that have come to experience Rooted by Origins and discover more about their community, themselves, African and African American history.
The family made plans to spend the day together here, and the mother and son have started on the Welcome Walk, which invites visitors from the surrounding city to a journey inward, where they walk amongst the planting of the Reconnection Rift and into the Overlook Plaza, protected by the Guardian's Pavilion, and begin to trek through the soft grasses onto the boardwalk, where African plants guide them to their rendezvous point at the entry walk.
On the northeast side of the complex, Grandma's metro train has just arrived, and she eagerly starts her journey through our site, where she is looking forward to helping her grandson discover more about their family history and origins. She weaves her way through the field of fellowship, glimpses at Pomona native storyboards, and hears the echoes of the drumming spirits. Grandma, mother, and son greet one another, and together they enter the complex's Root of Beginnings Museum.
They then embark on an enlightening journey through the memorable African history and culture, inviting individuals to trace through the African origins on the ground floor and also connect with their personal family origins within the protected subterranean level, ultimately leading to the core of contemplation, where they are surrounded by prominent African names of the past to encourage a time of reflection of how we all began.
After experiencing the Root of Beginnings Museum, the family exit from the north end of the building to the Path of Ancestors, where they enjoyed the night view of the complex and return to the Lens of Ancestors, where they conclude the night, surrounded by story of people before us.
Our complex strives to welcome the community of Pomona and visitors alike to reflect and reconnect with our origins. Through discovery, reflection, and empathy, we can move forward together, rooted by our origins. Thank you.
We're going to showcase our individual, more detailed work that contributes to this larger team project that you just saw, starting with the Rift of Reconnection. So the Rift of Reconnections is a place that encourages community activity to be welcomed into the museum grounds through its entry approach, public plazas, and pavilion, which are all supported by colorful and inviting planting and landscapes. The varied circulation provides freedom of movement for visitors of the site on an average day, and when it's a bustling hub on event days, or when it's an ecological oasis in the wet months. The widened Welcome Walk on Second creates a place where citywide or museum events can extend to the streetscape and create an inviting approach to the main museum entry. This boardwalk also leads visitors into the Garden of Origins, where our sensory engagement with the environment is reawakened through the sounds of wildlife, the change of seasons, all while telling deeper stories of botanical migration across the world through the plant palette of native African plants. Moving further inward, the planting and canopy overhead clears to the Overlook Plaza and Garden Pavilion, where a sculpture of unified figures support and overlooks events of all times. That aim to create unified relationships between the larger Pomona community and the history, art, and experiences of Africans and African Americans.
You're muted, Sean.
Oh, sorry. The Hill of Ancestors create a calm area away from the crowd for people to explore and connect through cultural significant plants and story projections of important events and people. The mound is located in the north side of our site, and it serves as a catchment. Um, wait, it serves as a catchment for flow coming from the south of the site, and it also provides the site with barrier to the north to ensure an experience without too much distraction from surrounding noise. The wall of convergence is the outer shell of the site toward the north. It is a planted green wall that serves as a sound barrier and also could provide shading because of solar orientation and seeding by rocks. The Cultivating Kinship Conservatory is located at the northeast entrance and is the first structure people see coming from the metro station. The conservatory is an anchor and provides shelter for rare plants that cannot survive in the weather of Pomona. Going to the west side of Hill of Ancestor, the Hill of Knowledge is a rock garden that provides a unique playground for kids and at the same time provides seating and overflow from the Overlook Plaza to support large crowd. And at the center of Hill of Ancestors is the Lens of Ancestors. The Lens of Ancestors provide interactive light projection of video and imagery showcasing significant event and people. And the area is sheltered by the mound trees and is connected to the museum to provide an immersive experience.
And here on this east side of the site is Encountering Spirits. So through discovery, ambiguity, empathy, and remembrance, Encountering Spirits is meant to reconnect visitors to their origins and spirits of their ancestors to better understand themselves and others. To welcome and connect more with the community of Pomona, Encountering Spirits has multiple entrances and pathways to represent the different experiences and encounterments our ancestors have faced and our own personal journeys. Many of the interactive programs provide safe spaces and opportunities to share passions, stories, and culture. While journeying to the museum complex, visitors may learn stories of fellow Pomona native achievements, relax under a shady tree, or in the interactive exhibit may share their own stories, experiences, and dreams. During the day, visitors might hear the echoes of the drumming garden spirits, but at night the spirits come out to celebrate, perform, and captivate all spectators. Encountering Spirits is a native African-inspired botanical garden, an embodiment of our ancestor spirits, spirits of loved ones, and your own unique spirit. As a whole, Encountering Spirits is an opportunity and an exciting experience for visitors to reconnect, remember, and encounter spirits from their origins and origins of others.
Finally, the root of beginnings was inspired by triangles, which was one of the most used shapes imprinted on the African attire, textiles, and on the exterior walls of their homes to represent a symbolic path with the hope to learn and accumulate wisdom at the end of the journey. Root of Beginnings is similar, where individuals embark on an enlightening journey through the memorable African history and culture, inviting individuals to trace through the African origins on the ground floor, named Relic of Remembrance, and also connect with their personal family origins within the protected subterranean level. Once tracing to the African origins, the individuals are drawn to the underground core of the site, the Find Your Roots Genealogy Center, where they are able to connect with their family origins to help regain a piece of their identity which has been lost through harsh pressures of time. After tracing through the African history and culture and connecting to personal family origins, individuals are brought to the final part of the journey, the core of contemplation, where they are surrounded by prominent African names of the past to encourage a reflection of how we all began. By tracing and connecting to the past and origins of personal and African history and culture, the ability to become part of something bigger is within reach.